Some of the most dangerous people you'll ever meet will never raise their voice. They won't even touch you. Yet they can ruin your peace of mind, your reputation, your confidence, piece by piece, and you'll thank them for it. Evil doesn't always wear a villain's mask. Sometimes it hides behind a polite smile, a helping hand, or even a romantic, "I love you." Psychologists call them dark personalities. They operate like emotional viruses, silent, calculating, and efficient at one thing: control. You can't fight them by being nice. You can only outsmart them if you know who they really are. In this video, we'll expose the 10 types of evil people that infiltrate modern relationships and workplaces, and the psychological tactics to protect your mind, your energy, and your soul. Let's begin. Type number 1. The emotional puppeteer. This person doesn't want your happiness, they want your dependency. They study your emotional triggers like a scientist. They know when to show affection, and when to withhold it to make you chase their approval. In psychology, this is called intermittent reinforcement, the same method used to train addicts. It's unpredictable reward patterns that make the victim obsessed. You'll find emotional puppeteers in relationships where one partner is constantly apologizing just to keep the peace. You'll see them in workplaces where the boss praises you one day and humiliates you the next, keeping you off balance, desperate to please. How to outsmart them? Don't play their game. The moment you realize they control you through your emotions, go gray, become emotionally flat. No reactions, no explanations, no drama. Starve their control mechanism and you'll regain your power. Type number 2. The reputation assassin. These are the quiet destroyers. They don't attack you directly, they attack how others see you. It's social warfare, and their weapon is subtle misinformation. They'll plant seeds of doubt in people's minds with carefully chosen phrases like, "I love her, but she's been acting so strange lately." Or, "I don't know if I should tell you this." But what they're doing is social gaslighting, making everyone question your integrity while appearing concerned. They destroy your credibility, then act shocked when you pull away. In modern offices, they're the coworkers who accidentally leave you off email threads. In relationships, they're partners who quietly ruin your reputation among friends so you become isolated and easier to control. How to outsmart them? Don't chase rumors, clarify truth directly and calmly in public. Evil people thrive on emotional reactions because it makes you look guilty. Stay factual, composed, and transparent. The light always blinds those who hide in the shadows. Type number 3. The martyr manipulator. This is the person who hurts you by making themselves look hurt. They weaponize guilt. Their favorite phrases are, "I do everything for you. I guess I just care too much," or, "You'd understand if you actually loved me." They turn every situation into a stage where they're the suffering saint, and you're the ungrateful villain. Psychologists call this covert narcissism, the art of gaining control through pity instead of pride. You'll often see them in relationships where one partner constantly sacrifices, but keeps a mental scoreboard. They don't help because they care, they help because it gives them leverage. How to outsmart them? Refuse to play the rescuer. Acknowledge their emotions without taking responsibility for them. Say, "I understand you feel that way," instead of, "I'm sorry, it's my fault." Compassion without compliance is your protection. Type number 4. The charismatic predator. They're charming, confident, magnetic, and that's exactly why they're dangerous. These are people who can sell you your own shoes and make you thank them for it. They mirror your interests, values, and emotions so perfectly that you start to think, "Finally, someone who gets me." But what they're really doing is psychological mirroring, a persuasion tactic used by manipulators and cult leaders alike. They reflect your best traits back to you, until you mistake it for compatibility. History is filled with examples. From con artists like Frank Abagnale Jr., who impersonated pilots and doctors, to manipulative leaders who built empires on charm, they all share the same weapon: likability. How to outsmart them? Don't trust chemistry alone. Trust consistency. A true person remains kind when the spotlight fades. A predator's mask slips when you stop feeding their ego. Type number 5. The energy vampire. Some people don't steal your money. They steal your vitality. You feel it after every conversation. That heavy exhaustion, that foggy mind, that invisible drain on your spirit. Energy vampires thrive on chaos. They unload their problems on you, exaggerate crises, and twist every moment into drama. They don't want solutions, they want attention. It's emotional feeding. You'll find them in every workplace and family. They call you at midnight to just talk. They text paragraphs of misery, then vanish when you need support. Psychologically, they rely on emotional contagion, the unconscious transfer of mood from one person to another. And if you don't filter it, you start to become what they feel. How to outsmart them? Set boundaries like walls, not doors. Be empathetic, but don't absorb. Limit your exposure, and when they start to drain your energy, visualize yourself mentally unplugging. Protect your peace as if your life depends on it, because emotionally, it does. Type number 6. The subtle saboteur. This person doesn't attack you directly, they erode you slowly. They'll praise you in public but plant seeds of doubt in private. They say things like, "Wow, you're so confident. I wish I could be that unaware," or, "You're lucky. Not everyone would have pulled that off." Their weapon is psychological undermining. A form of manipulation where they disguise insults as compliments. They operate under the radar because open hostility would reveal them. You'll find subtle saboteurs in competitive workplaces, jealous friendships, and even family. They can't stand seeing you rise higher than them, so they chip away at your confidence until you hesitate. How to outsmart them? Call out their compliments, directly but calmly. Say, "That sounded like a dig. Did you mean it that way?" They thrive on ambiguity, not confrontation. Expose their game gently, and they lose power instantly. Type number 7. The narcissistic savior. This is the hero who doesn't want to help you, they want to own you. They swoop in when you're vulnerable, offering guidance, protection, or love, but what they're really buying is your dependence. They'll say, "I just want what's best for you," but somehow, what's best always keeps you under their control. Their real addiction is admiration, not compassion. Psychologists call this the white knight syndrome, a distorted need to rescue others to feel superior. In relationships, they appear as partners who fix you. In workplaces, they act like mentors who never want you to surpass them. How to outsmart them? Accept help, but keep autonomy. Be grateful without being indebted. The moment someone frames your independence as betrayal, you'll know they were never saving you, they were possessing you. Type number 8. The victim strategist. This type uses pain as power. They manipulate sympathy like currency. They know the world feels sorry for the wounded, so they make sure their wounds are always visible. Every story they tell circles back to how someone wronged them. Their failures are always someone else's fault. Their sadness is always someone else's responsibility. But here's the hidden truth. The victim strategist doesn't want healing, they want leverage. By staying hurt, they force you to be the caretaker, and if you ever stop, they accuse you of being heartless. You'll see this pattern in certain coworkers, family members, and even romantic partners. They weaponize compassion until you drown in guilt. How to outsmart them? Stop over-explaining. Say, "I understand this is hard for you," but refuse to fix what they refuse to change. Empathy without enablement is how you reclaim your strength. Type number 9. The shadow puppeteer. This is the most dangerous kind of manipulator, the one who never acts directly. They operate from behind the curtain, controlling others to do their bidding while their hands stay clean. You'll rarely see them fight, argue, or accuse. They let other people do the dirty work, turning friends against you, spreading doubt, or making you look like the villain. In psychology, this pattern is called triangulation. It's a tactic narcissists and sociopaths use to maintain power through division. They thrive on chaos, but never appear chaotic. They look calm, reasonable, and misunderstood. The truth is, they're not fighting for peace, they're fighting for control. How to outsmart them? Never defend yourself in their game. refuse to compete for loyalty or attention. When they realize you won't play the triangle, they lose their entire web of control. The shadow puppeteer's greatest fear is being seen as the true manipulator. So the moment you see through them, they start to panic. Type number 10. The chaos feeder. This is the person who can't survive without drama. They need emotional turbulence like oxygen. When life gets calm, they'll create problems, stir gossip, provoke arguments, or reignite old wounds. It's not just impulsive, it's psychological conditioning. Research on intermittent reinforcement shows that unpredictable tension creates addictive emotional bonds. That's why you feel drained, yet drawn to them. Your nervous system mistakes their chaos for connection. In relationships, chaos feeders are the ones who love hard, then disappear suddenly, making you chase them to feel stable again. In workplaces, they cause endless, urgent conflicts so they can play the hero who fixes them. How to outsmart them? Detach emotionally. Don't reward the drama with reaction. Say less. Walk away sooner. When chaos loses its audience, it dies. Peace is their poison, so your calm is the most powerful weapon you have. Evil doesn't always show its teeth. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it cries. Sometimes it calls itself love. But every manipulative person has one weakness: they depend on your reaction. The moment you stop feeding them your energy, you starve their power. You don't have to fight them to win. You just have to stop playing their game. Because once you see through manipulation, you're no longer the victim. You become the strategist. And that's when real freedom begins. If you want to have an unfair advantage over others, then click the link in the description below to discover the most effective mind control techniques. Please use responsibly. And if this video opened your eyes, you're going to love what comes next. There are psychological tricks out there so powerful, they've been called too dangerous to teach. Watch this video next to uncover 30 dark psychology tricks so dangerously effective, they feel illegal to use. Learn how to protect yourself from them, or use them wisely, if you dare.